So this is Shane D, otherwise known as.
There's a lot of names. Master Shane D, Flavor Anonymous, Gorilla Grill stuff. I mean, kind of all over the world and back again.
There you go. So are you pretty much done with Gorilla Grills as far as being on their pro team and all that kind of stuff now?
That's really up to them. We're not doing obviously as much stuff because of COVID and all the madness. I mean, it's kept us all, kind of spread out. And Flavor Anonymous has taken over a lot of what I do. Kind of see around the room. There's boxes everywhere, with everything we're shipping. So that's really been the focus since COVID's kind of started. Still happy to do some recipe videos with Gorilla. Still happy to do stuff with them. The opportunity is just not really there right now.
I did order one of their module cabinet setups.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's going to go, if you could see, you see where this wooden thing is? I'm going to get rid of that and put it there for I can do just some better looking tabletop videos and things like that. So
yeah, I don't even have one of those. We talked about the design and we talked about a few things, but I didn't, I haven't got one.
All right, so we're going to go back. We go way back to when Shane was just a young lad. And so what got you started with barbecue? And was it your dad? Was it somebody in your family?
It was my grandfather. He had a restaurant in the 70s and just kind of grew from there. I grew up and moved away and then moved back eventually and kind of decided to start things back up. So my earliest memories are playing in his restaurant here in Western Kentucky, which is a couple weeks ago we were able to get the original sign that was out front. We got it and put it back in storage, and
Wow.
It's a long history. 50 plus years of stuff.
Wow. And so, what are some of the early cookers, pits, barbecues? What do you remember cooking on really early?
Oh well, with him it's always a cinder block pit. It's all he ever had. There was never anything else. It was the whole restaurant was built around that cinder block pit.
So it's kind of the cinder blocks with the aluminum top, that type of thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Running a restaurant, one of those is tough.
And so when you started barbecuing, what do you remember, for personal use or?
Yeah, the first, I would say, real pit that we bought was a Tucker Cooker Company pit. It's a little tow-behind unit. That was the first, real one. There wasn't some sort of, just loads gas kind of thing. And then it kind of grew from there. We got some Old Hickory pits. We've got Big Green Eggs. We've got all the Gorilla stuff. The pit that I'm cooking on right now that I'm just kind of loving again is an Ugly Drum Smoker. I get a lot of crap from the Gorilla folks, fans. They're like, how can you cook on something other than the pellet grill? I'm like, well, it's because it's called Pit Master, not Pillet Master. It's like I have to be able to cook on everything,
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. Myself, I have recently acquired a gravity fed. I have a pit maker cabinet that I bought not too long ago, and then the pellet stuff that I always use. So definitely understand that, I think we get it that we want to be able to cook on anything and everything, where some people, they don't get it. That's not their thing,
Yeah, listen, it's from chicken wings to whole hog. I got to cover it all, man.
Yeah, right. And so now you're cooking on, it sounds like a plethora of grills. And out of all those grills, what do you tend to lean towards the most as far as just cooking personally for yourself? If you're going to cook something for your family or yourself.
Yeah, I'm 100% a fan of all the Old Hickory products.
Okay.
They make making great barbecue very easy. Their Ultra Q, their CTO line, the double CTO, the regular CTO. I'm a fan of all of it. I like that I can get plenty of sleep if I need to, but I like that it still puts that authentic flavor right where it needs to be. They just work. They're expensive, but man, they sure do work.
Yeah, probably the only reason why I don't have one here is just because I got to fit everything here through a doorway,
Right.
And I think it's the CTO with the gas assist is just inches too big.
Oh, okay.
Inches. So that's one reason why. Because I talked to was a gentleman in Chicago, Jeff Shivers, I believe.
I'm sorry, it dropped out on me just a little bit. Go over that last part.
Okay. I said I talked to the gentleman in Chicago. I think his name is Jeff Shivers.
Oh, Jeff Silvers. Yeah, Jeff's a great guy.
Yeah, me and him talked a while back, and he was trying to get me something that would fit through my door here, but
yeah. Well, unfortunately, it may work, man. It's they're a little smaller.
The Ultra Qs.
Mm-hmm.
They're smaller than the CTO. I'll have to look into that.
Yep.
So, where do you want to take this direction you're in now? I mean, you're doing a lot with seasonings, but I mean, is this something where you want to open up a spot? Do you want to just continue to do more competitions and seasonings? Where would you like to take this barbecue adventure?
So the seasonings and the sauces have always been the core of what I do. I did all the sauces and rubs for Gorilla. I've done several for other companies. That's always been just kind of a, if you will, the bloodline of what I do. And then everything else is a tandem off of that. So the sauces and rubs will never go away. It's like songwriters. You've always got a song in your head. I've always got a new idea for a sauce or a rub. So that's never going away. I would love to do some more pit designing. I've got several ideas I'd like to do with that. But I got a few books I'd like to get written, and I've worked on a few deals for books. It's just a matter of finding the right deal for the right book that I'm passionate about. But that's really the bulk of it, is just doing what I do and enjoying it. I love teaching. I love doing the videos. All the stuff I do with Gorilla. Showing people how to use stuff, how to get the most out of whatever they put money in. That's where I'll always love to be. That's my outlet.
Okay. And what would you say would be your favorite thing to cook for yourself?
Oh, that's day by day and pit by pit. Right now, that Ugly Drum Smoker, I am just craving some beef ribs off that thing. I love a good beef rib when it's done right. I love a good pork rib when it's done right. Those are two things I never seem to get tired of. When I'm craving brisket, I really want it, but I only want like a prime or a Wagyu brisket, not to be snobby. But that's the only ones I crave anymore. And I'll cook like one of those every third or fourth month for myself. Other than that, I'm always cooking for other people, and I'll sneak a bite, But
right.
Ribs and things like that are about the only things I crave.
And what's kind of your method with beef ribs? What's your prep method? What's your season, cook, all that stuff? If you don't mind sharing.
No, it's totally more of a Texas method. That keep it simple, build a lot of bark. Using post oak and stuff like that. I really want that Texas. My favorite beef rib I've ever had was from Black's Barbecue in Texas, and I'm always chasing that. So my method is always homage or an homage to them. Flavor Anonymous, a lot of the seasons I built with Moon Enhancer, Double Down, Ante Up, those are all chasing that kind of perfect rib or perfect brisket or perfect steak. But sometimes, man, it's just salt, pepper, garlic, and a lot of smoke, and I just don't want anything else. So if I'm cooking at home, the number one thing that surprises most people is if I'm cooking at home, I probably use 1/10 of the seasonings people think that I do. You think I've got literally 15 products behind me. You would assume I'm, putting all of them on there, and I usually don't. Those have their place for the backyard smoker and for competition, and I would use them and mix them here and there. But when I cook for me, it's always about taking it back to the simplest, purest form and reminding myself of that and then building from there.
I can appreciate that. So outside of the smokers you have now, if you were given a blank check and you could buy 3 smokers, any 3 smokers out there, space wasn't an issue, money wasn't an issue. With the knowledge you have now, what would you bring home?
I would go get a completely pimped out Outlaw, just because, and they're a great cooker, but it's really Jay Craig's ability to dial in exactly the paint colors and the pinstriping and the neon and all that fun stuff. it would just be fun to do. Having said that, his backyard or his patio is a great cooker for the money. I think it's well worth it. Was it Double O Smokers? They've got a really interesting, ugly drum design right now. And I would go buy another Ultra Q. I love that little Ultra Q from Old Hickory, because I just want one everywhere. I want one on the back porch. I want one on the front porch. I want one in the camper. I just want them everywhere because I love the form factor and I love what I can do with them.
Really? Wow. And that Ultra Q, is that a gas assist?
Yeah, it can be. So that's the cool thing with the option packages. So yeah, you can totally hook up a propane tank to it and just like a little mini CTO.
Okay. Wow. I don't know how I haven't seen that one. I'm going to have to go back and...
It's hiding on their site. They don't sell as many of them because they're not... Everyone that goes there, are bigger restaurant caterer types. But I'm telling you, we did some pork belly on it in a video, and it blew my mind just how doggone good that little smoker is. The thing the CTO does well, they figured out their airflow. And all the CTOs, it's, convection tri-oven is what CTO stands for. Their airflow, they've really figured it out, and it drives just the right amount of smoke in with very minimal wood or charcoal.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I'm a big fan.
Now you got me thinking, man. I hate that.
Hey, it'll fit right behind you where that pit maker is. It'll fit right there, man.
Right. Yeah. People get me thinking, and it usually gets me in trouble because...
Well, this is just like guitars, and I collect guitars as well. The cool thing about these pits, especially when you start buying a certain level, you could use them for a year or two and sell them and get most of your money back, if not all of it, and get into something else, where it's like race cars or guitars, I may only have that, 1972 Strat for a year or two, and I kind of get it out of my system, and I may sell it, and I get into something else. Maybe I want a Les Paul, I don't know.
Right.
But that's the fun of it, is trying all of them and just really forming those opinions, I'm really excited to see, Gorilla's always done a great job of build quality. As they do more and more and expand outside of where they are now, we talked to them about, you've got that vault behind you. One of the designs Mark and I kicked around on paper for a minute was a pellet vault like that built by Gorilla and doing it right. You know? And that's the one thing I love about what Gorilla does is that they may not always be the first on the board, but when they show up, they've really taken all the extra steps and really thought through the process very well. You're going to see it with that cabinet when it shows up. You're going to be like, holy crap, I didn't even think of that. That's brilliant. Where they put this handle or how it sets or whatever. When we did the jerky rack, Mark and those guys, they said to me, like, these are the 3 changes I would recommend. But that jerky rack, because of how it was built, is actually, to hold like 100 wings in the silverback. I mean,
Right.
You've got a silverback. I mean, it's not a very big cook space, or if you've seen it, to put 100 wings in. But that one accessory changes the game because they thought through all the little pieces to do it right.
Right. Yeah, my only dealings with Gorilla Grills is I purchased a controller to run my bigger pellet
That's
cooker.
what I'm seeing. I see the controller back there. I'm like, that's on the wrong side. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's a Myron Mixon. That's a Mixon 3600. And
that's not the only Gorilla Control Myron Mixon smoker that I know of, actually.
right. Well, truthfully, there's been a couple of people that, when they seen I did this, asked me about it. It's it runs it 100 times better than the Rheostat one that came with it.
The Alpha controller, with dual mode and being able to adjust those rates.
Yeah.
They really did a great job with that controller, and it will control a lot of pits much bigger than it was designed for because of the optioning in there.
Well, that's the proof right there. This thing is 3600, and this is the silverback one. And what's that? What's the silverback?
Silverback's like 800 something square inches. So
800, right?
I mean, it's big, but it's not that big.
Right. And I love the way it handles this grill. So I'm waiting for the Wi-Fi unit to come out. Just because I'm that guy, but I'm really impressed with that.
I've had a personal vendetta against the Wi-Fi since the first time it was ever mentioned with Gorilla, but I understand why people want it.
Yeah, for me, it's just I do a lot of multi-cooking, sleep cooking, all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
like right now, I got to throw my Fireboard in there to just watch it overnight, stuff like that.
Sure.
So, but yeah, I'm really impressed with that controller. I can't wait to see what they do with the Wi-Fi one.
That controller fixes a lot of subpar pellet smokers, I'm going to tell you.
Right.
Not that my remix is subpar, don't take that way, but
No,
there's a lot of
it's not.
units that controller gets put in that make it fantastic.
If I've had a lot of pellet smokers, and I've dealt with a lot of bigger pellet smokers, and truthfully, the hood design, the airflow design on this Mixin, I really love. It's got the built-in downdraft in it, where the airflow exits out the rear and the back, and to me it produces a level of smoke that at higher temps is hard to get.
Your linger time is much higher because of how that's designed. I looked at them when they came out. It's actually a very smart design. And that's the thing with pellet smokers. There's only a certain amount of smoke that they're going to make, and your linger time in the chamber is crucial.
Right.
But also, you have to worry about it lingering too long because it will get stale and bitter on you. So
Right.
it's balancing act. The right controller with the right amount of airflow, and it's that setup you've got there is probably top 5 smokers you could have with that controller and that actual smoker.
Yeah, I really think that. I think there's other areas in the smoker that needs improvement, as far as just like the drip pan is, too thin, but for the most part, I could cook a lot of food in this thing and produce really consistent food in it, and that's why I've kept it. The other pellet smoker I have, which is a Pits and Spits, I moved that to my offsite stuff. Yeah. Now, I believe their controller, their Renoki or Renoko, however you pronounce it, that controller is so tuned to that specific pit.
Right.
Like, it's incredible. And I don't know, how these controller companies do it, where their controller could be so tuned in to a pit, but it's pretty amazing. But I'm keeping those two in my system, and now I'm bringing in other flavors, other ways of cooking. That's why I got the pit maker and the gravity fed next to me by Assassin. I mean, to me, those two.
Great gravity.
Yeah, especially for the money.
Yeah.
If it didn't cost so much to ship over here, it'd be a real steal, But
that's the big part about me being in Western Kentucky is that most of the great pit makers, save for the Texas guys, are within a few hour drive. Another company I would bring up to put in like my top 5. You mentioned that I could buy anything that Travis McGee builds at M Grills, any of it. I don't care. It's all like cutting edge innovation meeting this crazy level of craftsmanship. They're not cheap for what they are, but they're damn good.
Yeah, my buddy just got the M16 for state competitions, and I got to see that thing and touch it, and man, it's just wow.
Yeah. Even cooking on the C4s, those little boxes, you're thinking, oh, it's just a stupid little box. No, it's so well thought out.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
I did contact him this last week about possible grill, so he said he's going to shoot me some designs over, but we're going to see what happens with that.
Get him on and pick his brain about the new Mandalorian. That thing is awesome, how big it is.
Yeah, that thing is...
I'll tell you, I was down between buying a guitar I'd really been looking for or getting a second M16 for my birthday, which was last week. Because I got the old M16 that's powder coated. I want that new stainless unit so bad it's not even funny. And I'm still going to buy one of those.
Right. So, yeah, I opted for the Hasty Bake SCA edition that's coming out.
That's a great one, especially... There's some of the Hasty Bake stuff I'm not the biggest fan of, but I do think the SCA edition has all the options really specced out and dialed in.
Yeah, so I'm going to... that's supposed to be here tomorrow. It's something I've been doing...
Is it your birthday? You can do all the gear.
Actually, my birthday was July 1st, so...
So we're exactly 30 days apart.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so technically this stuff was all bought in my birthday month.
There you go.
or actually, no, some of these were bought months before that, but build time. So, but yeah, so I'm stoked. I do a little bit of SEA stuff here, just a couple a year that happen up at the barbecue HQ in Simi Valley, and me and my buddies do some smaller stuff. But this kind of leads me to the next thing is, I purchased some of your rubs to do some SCA cooking with and stuff like that. And I don't want to give away all the beans or anything, but
yeah. No, hey, I want you to give away all the beans because we need people buying those rubs.
Right. So I'll be doing some videos and testing out that really soon once the steak comes. I've kind of left them alone until the steak cooker gets here.
The COVID thing has hurt us a little bit because I know without a doubt, after cooking SCA and being around SCA, that the combination of Mood Enhancer with Double Down and Ante Up is going to be a winner in the SCA, and people are going to cash checks based on those three products. And what hurts us so bad is we were counting on this year it breaking open with people starting to hit with those. And because of the SCAs getting kind of canceled, they just haven't hit their stride yet. They're such good products, but people don't know about them yet.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see how those taste and compare to what I've used in the past and stuff like that. So I appreciate it. Any last thoughts or, what you want to, what's your immediate goal for this year as far as getting through this? And
yeah, I mean, I think there's a bigger thing going on here than just COVID. We've got a lot of animosity and a lot of divisiveness in America, and that's all very anti-barbecue. The thing I love about barbecue has always been it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what your religion is, provided you still eat meat anyway. I guess that is one caveat. Even then, I'll grow you some great zucchini, man. But barbecue is about loving one another. It's about putting in that time to show the people around your table that are breaking bread or eating that brisket with you that you love them. And I just had one wish, is that we can make it through the COVID stuff. But the COVID stuff mixed with all the drama and the protests or rioting or however you choose to see it, that's on you. But I know it all comes back to one thing: loving one another, man. We need to get back to cooking, and we need to get back to loving one another, and that will solve a lot of this mess. And then we can just get on with resolving the COVID thing. But right now, everyone needs to turn the damn news off.
Right.
They need to get away from that. They need to get back to being human and caring about their neighbors and not listening to what some organization is telling you to think. You got to think for yourself here. You got to do for yourself. You got to do what's in your heart. And Americans have always been a society of people made up of many cultures and many colors that have agreed on one thing, and that was doing it together. We didn't always do it perfectly, but we always tried our best to do it together. And it's never going to be perfect. But we got to keep working on loving one another.
I absolutely agree. All right, Shane, tell everybody how to find you. Tell everybody where to get your rubs.
Yeah, 100%, man. Always barbecueproshop.com if you want to order stuff that's not just Flavor Anonymous. Our products are at Barbecue Pro Shop. So if you want some of Heath Ryle's stuff or whatever, grab that plus our stuff, and then you can send me the letter telling me how much better our stuff is than Heath's. Okay, that'd be great. You don't have to do that last part. Heath makes a great product, but Barbecue Pro Shop's a great place to get our stuff. FlavorAnonymous.com/shop is our place. We just launched a new line. We have the Flavor Anonymous line. We also have the Pit Daddy Outfitters line. The Flavor Anonymous line is built to take you to new places and give you new experiences flavor-wise that you've never had together. The Pit Daddy Outfitters line is about bringing it back to what it was back in the 60s and 70s, some of those classic flavors like the American tradition rub, the chicken dredge, the fish dredge. It's all about bringing you back to when those flavors were better than what you remember them being now, because there weren't any corners cut back then. They were good, wholesome products. So that's what PDO is all about, where Flavor Anonymous is about pushing the envelope to the bleeding edge, but check out those products. I know you're going to like them. We put literally decades and decades into those products, perfecting them and making them right. And the other thing I'll say for Flavor Anonymous and what we do with the Pit Daddy Outfitters, many times when you order, you're getting that rub within 1 week of the time it was made. We're getting to you as fresh as anybody in the business.
Wow, that's really something. Well, all right, man. Hopefully I could be a guest on your show sometime this week. I seen you looking for people. So
Yeah, dude, we'll firm it up for next week, man. We're always booking. So next Wednesday, dude, let's put it out there. We'll make it work.
right on, man.
About your pits.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a brisket comparison off all three of these this week. So that's going to be fun.
A great segment, man. Let's book it for next week.
All right, cool. Thanks a lot, Shane.
No problem, brother. Talk to you later.
All right, take care.
All right.
All right, that was Shane D, Flavor Anonymous, Pitmaster Shane D. This was actually the second video we did. The first one we did, I messed up. We didn't do it the regular way, and my sorry about the background noise, but I didn't get the audio, basically. I just got video. So this was a redo. I'm so glad he decided to come back and do it again for me. So you guys take care. God bless. Like and share. If you want to be on the CUD, you let me know. Send me a message, and I'll get you on here. I don't care how big you are, how small you are. I don't care what country you're in. If you like barbecue and you want to talk about barbecue, I got room for you on the CUD. Take care. Peace.